Have a controlling boss breathing down your neck every second? Here's what I think about that. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, your go-to place for building your dream career and achieving your highest potential. I'm Allie, and I'm extremely excited because today's another segment of Q&A Wednesday where I answer one of your questions on anything related to career, work, or leadership. If you have a question for me, then make sure you leave it in the comment box below, and maybe it will be featured on our next segment. Otherwise, let's get started. L-Girl writes, "Hey Allie, how do you find fulfillment in the work you love when constantly dealing with a micromanaging boss?" Hi L-Girl, and thank you for that question. It can always be frustrating when you have your boss or your manager breathe down your back constantly. And because of that, not only do you have zero control over your work, but you start despising the work that you love to do. And so it really is a question of what do we do about that? It's a frustrating situation that can be inefficient. It can hurt your performance in the end because you're trying to do somebody else's method. On top of that, this is a sign that your boss doesn't trust or value your work. And so there are a lot of problems associated with over-controlling bosses. It can have a lot of negative effects on their employees. So what do you do about it? Now, there are two approaches you can take. You can take an active or a passive approach, but based off your comment, it seems that the passive approach would be the better option. And so I'm going to share with you my top tips on how to passively get around over-controlling managers. First things first, you need to take initiative. So, you know what, you're not going to approach your boss and tell them that they need to change. So instead, it's you who needs to change. But here's the catch. Rather than you changing because you don't want to, change it in a way that helps you. Take a look at exactly what it is your boss wants, all right? Because typically when we have a controlling manager, it's because they have a fear of failure. They do not like underperforming. And so really put yourself into their shoes and figure out what drives them, what nitpicks they have, and try to address it head on. Be proactive about it. If they don't like reports done a certain way, then don't do it. Don't be stubborn. Do the report the exact way they like it so it saves you a lot of time and a lot of headache. So the next step is you have to reframe your mindset. If you are not going to approach the situation, then nothing's going to change. And so what can change is how you perceive the situation. And the best way to do that is to empathize. Understand what your boss has to go through every day. What are some of the demands that they have put on them? Responsibilities? What are their deadlines? Who do they have to interact with? You're going to find out that they have a really stressful position. And if so, once you start thinking about it from that perspective, yes, they're controlling, but it's less about you and more about them and just trying to stay sane, okay? So just reframe it from your perspective, and that alone can reduce some of the stress that comes with having an over-controlling manager. The next step, give anonymous feedback. Tell them what you think, but make sure you're constructive about it because trust me, it doesn't matter if you write the comment, if you leave it through the computer. If they are controlling, they know exactly how you write, the way you write it, and they will identify you. So if you are going to take the anonymous approach, do take advantage of it to give some constructive feedback, but be careful with your words. They can identify you, and if you're trying to be passive, that might work against you. So be careful with the words that you use. Last but not least, you need to ask for clear expectations. Just sit down with your boss and ask them, what do they want from you? How do they want it? When do they want it? And if there's a problem, how can you communicate to them? If you need to accomplish something, how can you do it? Really sit down and talk about everything and anything that you can, because the more information you have, the more proactive you can be in the future so that they aren't hounding you every second. That's it for today's Q&A Wednesday. Do you have a controlling boss? If so, let me know in the comments below. And if you really like the topic, then stay tuned because tomorrow I will be talking about why you don't want to be controlling. And this is especially for those of you managers and supervisors who might have a little bit of a control issue. And if you're somebody who's been struggling with task delegation and you want to do it effectively, then make sure you take a look at my tips and tea time video where I give you my top tips on how you can effectively delegate tasks to your team. And don't be shy. Have a question? Make sure you leave in the comments down below and it might be featured on my next video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're notified of my latest videos. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter where I not only reveal the latest updates on my channel, but I also tell you some additional tips and tricks that aren't revealed on my YouTube channel. You don't want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching. Until we meet again, everyone, take it easy.